Jeff, it's a real pleasure to get to meet you virtually this morning. How are you doing?
Thanks, Emmanuel. I'm doing great. How are you?
Not too bad. Actually, very excited to wake up this morning and get to talk to you, about such a fantastic series. Diary. I'm sorry, I haven't had coffee yet. Diary of a Wimpy Kid, which is going to be making its way now to Disney Plus. Tell me a little bit about what we can expect from this animated version of the series.
Yeah, you can expect to see the books come to life. It's really exciting. We've done live action movies before,
Mhm.
and of course it's an adaptation in a way because it's human beings playing the characters on the page. But this is the first time it's been Greg from the books being portrayed on the screen. So it's really, really exciting. It's a fully 3D world. I love the animation style. I think it's just perfect for the books.
And yeah, very interesting you said that because that's something I wanted to ask you about. Because yeah, the live action I did enjoy. It was fun, but this medium animation really allows the characters to jump out the pages because it's something that you're a little bit more related to seeing because you've seen the characters drawn and now they just seem like they just kind of came up and they're these wonderful animations. So my question: did you guys think of any other animation styles, try them out first, or was this kind of the way that you had envisioned it from the beginning?
Well, all credit goes to Bardell, a company out in Vancouver that's handled the animation. Um, we worked for a long time on the modeling, and that's where I was really involved, where we try to take these 2D figures and then translate them onto these 3D models. And we had lots of stops and starts. A lot of times, the characters look kind of weird. And then eventually we got it right. And then they took it to the next step, which was creating this animation style that I think is really fun. It's like kind of jumpy. It fits the series really well. It's realistic looking in a way, but it's also stylized. So I think it's really kind of something new.
What is it like for you having worked on that project for so long? I mean, the first book was published in 2007, but you had been working on it for some time before that. To see that final version of Greg in 3D, after working on him for so long and seeing him just on in black and white.
Yeah, I'll tell you the truth is that what you do is you go through these stages. You see a really rough animatic, and it's almost like bad 90s, early 90s animation. And that's what you see for a long time. And then all of a sudden they do a proof of concept. And when I first saw that, my eyes went pop. I couldn't believe how good it looked. I couldn't believe the technology was there. I couldn't believe we could afford to do it, because we're not working on like a Pixar budget here. It's it's really cool what they can do now, and I feel like the technology caught up with us just at the right time.
Yeah, and tell me what, like Greg and Rowley, you've written them for so many years now. After that, what kind of relationship do you have with them? Like, who do they become to you?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think in a way they've become real to me, and I've always heard authors say, oh, my character, I can hear him speaking to me or something like that. And it feels so pretentious to me. I think with this incarnation, I feel separate enough from the characters that they really feel like performers to me or actors to me. And that's really cool because a little bit of separation is good for me.
So even sometimes maybe when you're writing, is there times where you have to think back and it's like, no, maybe he wouldn't do that. Do you have that kind of separation at this point?
I don't think so. Greg on the page is really that he's very close to me. On the
Okay.
screen, he feels a little bit different. And it's kind of funny because I wrote the script, and
Mhm.
then when I see the performances on screen, I really believe them. And I'm not thinking, oh, I wrote every word of that. I'm thinking, wow, that was funny, or oh, I feel sorry for Rowley, or things like that. It's a really weird kind of disconnect, but I think it's there's a little bit of magic to it.
That sounds fun though.
Yeah.
So one of the interesting things I was reading about you is that this isn't necessarily the path that you wanted to go with. You wanted to be a cartoonist, but this particular franchise has worked so well for you. Tell me, what has that journey been like and to be so beloved by so many around the world, and because of your characters and your stories.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, I wanted to be a newspaper cartoonist. I really idolized Charles Schulz, Bill Watterson, Gary Larson. I read the comics every morning, and I thought, this is what I want to do. I want to be on this page. And that didn't work out for me. I tried for about 3 years to try to become a syndicated cartoonist after college. I got nothing but rejection letters, like most cartoonists do. And newspapers were shrinking. Most cities had 2 big newspapers and went down to 1, and the opportunities were less. So I really had to swerve and do something different. But I feel really lucky for it. I feel like, I get to launch a new book every year. That's different than putting out a daily comic. And there's this big celebratory moment. So I really wouldn't trade it. But I do always have this feeling, this knowledge that I failed at the thing that I wanted to do to begin with.
Well, no, I would. Yeah, I guess you could say that, but I have I have a degree in culinary, but I'm actually in media now. I'm working with the news and things like that. I love my career also. I just find your story very inspiring, just to persevere, and maybe your first pass not going to work out, but it doesn't mean that it's over. It just means that there's probably a different door that you need to open, and you're a perfect example of that.
Yeah, and in fact, when I was in college, I remember I was in the newsroom one night in the college paper, and somebody said that they just got their first email. That's how long ago that was, and the internet was just becoming available to the public right about then. And so here are these 2 things: email and the internet, which are obviously have been a big part of my life since then. And, in college, I couldn't really prepare for the job that I was going to one day have, because the technology wasn't there yet. The medium wasn't there yet. Disney Plus didn't even exist until, 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's true. We have to evolve with the times sometimes. Speaking of times, 2009, you were one of their top influential people. So congratulations for that. Where do you find your stories? Is it from your childhood to be able to write these books and be so relatable with so many around the world?
Yeah, I had a normal childhood. It wasn't extraordinary in any way, but lots of funny things happened to me, and just like a normal amount of funny things happened to me. But I have a good memory for those things, and I have a good way of bringing those things to the surface and keeping them fresh. And now I have kids of my own. I have a 16-year-old and 19-year-old, so I got to see childhood for a second time. So I think what makes the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books work is that they are relatable, that we can see ourselves in the situations in the books.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. I know I caught the end of them when I was growing up. My daughter got most of them, so we're very familiar with the franchise. What do you hope people take away from this film?
Joy, really, entertainment. I mean, Diary of a Wimpy Kid's always been about entertainment, and there's this messy character, Greg Heffley, who is not always so lovable, and I think it's fun to embrace a messy character. Like we're used to seeing kid characters who are heroic, brave. They're aspirational, right? Greg's more like you and me. I think he's not that you're not aspirational. I'm guessing that you might have been messy too as a kid. We make mistakes, and we wouldn't want our middle school years recorded, really. And that's what's happening to Greg Heffley.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I love the fact that sometimes you see him get jealous, you see him get mad. We see that in this film, particularly with one of his best friends. So since 2007, the cheese is still rotting.
Still
Jeff,
rotten.
Jeff, thank you so much for your time. It's such a pleasure to talk to you. Congratulations, and I hope to see more of these.
I appreciate that. I hope to see more of them.